It's time to start building AI applications with Hugging Face and Gradio. First, we're going to start with the basics. We're going to start with natural language processing tasks, and then we're going to move into building chatbots with LLMs. Then we're going to build agents that implements the MCP protocol as well. All of these applications will be deployed and live, so you can share the links with everyone. You can add it to your portfolio, and you can showcase your AI knowledge. So I hope you're ready to get started. Let's go and start building AI applications right now. Hello everyone, welcome to the first video. So in this course, we're going to be using, of course, Hugging Face Gradio to build different type of AI applications. Now, it doesn't matter if you're completely new to AI or you have some experience. This course is easy enough for you to follow along, build projects, and then continue growing and share your applications. Now, we're going to be talking about different libraries like the Transformers library, datasets, diffusers, tokenizers, and small agents that are part of the Hugging Face ecosystem. Gradio is now also part of Gradio as well. Now we're going to be deploying everything into the Hugging Space spaces that they have available. So we're going to learn a lot of different things from the Hugging Face platform. By the end of the series, you're not only going to understand how these AI tools work, you're going to have many different projects that you can share and add to your portfolio in order to showcase everything you learn. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, since I'm going to be sharing a video every single week. So every single week we're going to be building a different applications, and also I'm going to be adding the instructions here in this Notion page. So I'm going to be adding this link into the video description as well. Also, there will be a Discord link that I'm going to share. So if you need to help send me any messages or any help with debugging, you can also share your repo, and anyone in the channel can help you out, including me. Now, in order to get started, we're going to first need to set up our local computer or local workspace. We're going to have a few requirements. So the first requirement is going to be Python, GitHub, so we can send the code and deploy our applications. I'm going to be using VS Code, but you can use any IDE that you prefer for Python. If you go for VS Code, you need to make sure you also install this extension here. So you have all the links of the technologies that we're going to be using here as well. Now we're also going to be using UV in order to manage our packages for Python. And of course, we're going to need a Hugging Face account. Now, each one of these requirements have the links where you can find them and download everything in here. So this is the link to the Python download. You can download Python here, and then you can go to the VS Code one. You can select your operating system and download VS Code. You have the link to the extension that you're going to need for VS Code if you decide to go with VS Code. And then in the UV instructions to install, you have the Mac and Linux instructions here. You have the Windows here. So you can copy this command here and throw it inside of your PowerShell. And basically that's all you need in order to get started with UV. Now for Mac, sometimes this is not, doesn't work properly to some people. So I also included these links to Homebrew. So Homebrew, if you don't have it in your Mac computer, you can copy this link here, install it, and follow the instructions to complete the installation there. And then you can use this command in order to install UV on Mac. But for Windows, it works pretty good with just one single command here. Now also the GitHub link is going to have the download instructions and the setup that we need to follow if you don't have Git in your system. There's also different links in here that can teach you a little more about GitHub if you want to look at some more information, but I'm going to show you step by step on how to commit and push a code so we can deploy each one of the different applications we're going to be building. Now, we are going to go back to Hugging Face. So if you look at the bottom here, Hugging Face, we need to create a brand new account if you don't have one. If you have one, you can just use the same one you have. The billing information is not required, so they're not going to ask you to add any credit card information, any of that. So it's just a free account that you can sign up for. Now, there's a few notes in here if you want to learn a little bit more about VS Code and UV. And then there's some information here about the pricing. So this course is completely free, and I'm not affiliated with any company. But I do recommend reading their billing information. All the stuff that we're going to be using, or the libraries and the services, are pretty much free. But there is a few videos that are going to be about inference, and we're going to be using different LLMs in order to generate or build the chat applications and agents. So we just have to be aware that this is a free limit, and if you want to go if you go over and you have billing set up, they might charge you just a fraction of $1 or something like that. But I included the different links to the pricing for the providers, but we're not going to basically you don't have to add your billing information. If you hit the limit, the free limit, you're just gonna have to wait until you can do more requests. So, but if you want to add your billing and don't have any limit for the requests that you can send, you can read more in these links in order to see how much they're going to charge you per request or per hour, depending on the service that you choose. Now I have a free link here if you would like to buy me coffee here too, because some people have asked for this link. And pretty much that's all we need to go and see for now. Now, make sure you sign up for Hugging Face. So here's my account on Hugging Face. And I have the few links of the pricing just to show you that you have a free account. Right now you can see I'm not subscribed to any pro membership or anything else. I do have billing because I use Hugging Face a lot and I send a lot of requests, more than the free tier provides. So and usually it's just a few cents per request depending on the model, but you don't really need that. So you get a free account. You're able to host unlimited public models, data sets, so you get pretty much a free account forever. Then in the spaces that we're going to be deploying our applications, you get this basic CPU basic tier that is always free, and we're always going to be using the free one. If you would like to upgrade later, you can set up your billing and then you can choose any of these, and you can see some of the pricing here. So you can read more about this in here if you're interested, but this is not required. Just try to keep it, we're going to try to always keep it free. Now for this first application, I want to do it inside of the Hugging Face platform. I don't want to do it locally yet, so I can show everyone that you can also do it online inside of the platform. So if you go to your account and you click on your picture here, and then you can click on create new space, and then this is going to take you to create a new space in here. Now here we're going to name this application sentiment dash analysis in here, and then sentiment, there you go. And then a show description, we can just skip this for now, and in the license we can select MIT, and here we can just say analyze the sentiment of any text. Right, just a short description here for now. Now down here, we're going to select Gradio, and they have different templates in here that you can choose from, creating a chatbot, a text to image, leaderboard, but we're gonna keep it here in the blank so we can create our own. You can use Docker if you want. They have like 17 different templates, and also you can use HTML and JavaScript if you like. But we're going to be using Gradio, so that way we have a library that can help us build the different type of UIs we're going to need, and just focus on learning the AI task that we're going to be learning. Now down here, we're going to keep it free. You see that you have different options here. It's 0.03 cents per hour, and then the GPU instances, they are a little bit more expensive, but make sure you always have it on the free selection here. Now we're going to keep this public because we would like to share these applications with anyone. So we're going to keep it there and hit create space. Now here you have different options to clone it down. So in the next app, we're going to be cloning it down. So you will need to set up. So when prompted for password, use the token, use an access token to write for that has write permissions. It says generate your own token from the settings page. So if you click here, it can take you to, you have to log in. And this is going to take you to this page here where you can create a new token, and you can use that token when asked in the next video. So we'll come back to this later on. But in here, the second step is create your Gradio app file and start writing some code in here. And then locally, you could do these commands later on in order to make your commits. But for now, I want to stay inside of this space UI in order to learn it directly on the website. And then later we're going to build our next app locally using VS Code or your preferred IDE. So now this is the application file. We can see that we have logs, likes, and then we have app, we have files, and then here you have settings, and then the three dots here will provide a menu for different options. So let's click on files. And then here we see the files that are there. There's a README file, there's a Git file here. So in order to create a new file, we're gonna go and click contribute here. So click there and click create new file. The first file we're going to create is the requirements.txt file. This file is where we're going to list all the dependencies if we're using this online IDE in order to build the applications. Locally, we're going to be using UV in order to handle the different Python versions we're going to need, and also the different packages we're going to need. So just for this one, we're going to use this requirements.txt. We're going to list all the dependencies. So we're going to need the transformers library from Hugging Face. We're going to need Torch, and we're going to need Gradio. All right, so now we can go down here. It says create a new file. This is where we're going to do the commit. We can say created requirements file requirements, and then click commit a new file. Cool. If you made any typos or need to go back and forgot something, you can always click edit, right? In order to come back, and then when you finish updating it, you can just hit commit again. Now we're gonna need another file for our app. So if we create a new, not there, but let's go here to files, contribute, create new file. This one's going to be app.py. And here, we're going to start writing our application. So we're going to say from transformers, this is the Hugging Face library. We're going to import pipeline. So the pipeline is, we're going to be using the pipeline a lot to build different pipelines, which is going to allow you to build this application super easy in just a few lines of code, because it puts a lot of the components behind this pipeline together for you. So behind the scenes, this is like the tokenizer that creates the tokens, the model. So everything will be put together for you with this pipeline functionality here. So let's create a variable called classifier. and we're going to set that equals to pipeline. And then in quotes, we're going to say sentiment analysis. Oops. So we just one call to the pipeline function and passing the name of the NLP task we want to create. This will give you back a pipeline that can handle this type of task. All right, so down here, we're going to create a function. So dev score underscore score text. In here, we're going to receive some text, and we're going to do something in here. So this function score text, we're going to receive a piece of text here, and then we're going to pass it to the classifier. So let's say results equals classifier, pass the text parameter here, and then down here we're going to extract the results that we need. This is a big object that has all the information from the request, but we're interested just in the results from the score that we're getting from the pipeline, from the sentiment analysis pipeline. So here we're going to say label equals, and then we're going to say results, and then from results we're going to do square brackets, quotes, and we want to say label here again, so we can grab the label from the dictionary that gets returned here. Then we're going to say score equals results, square brackets, score. Right, and we're doing the same thing from the results dictionary. We grab the score property and we store the value here. Now from here, we're going to return a new f string, and we're going to say sentiment, and then here we're going to put the label. And then we're going to say score, and then we're going to put the score here, pass the score. There you go. All right, so we have the function we're going to need here. Now, down here, we're going to build the Gradio app, right? So we have the functionality, we have the backend function that is going to handle the task. Now we need to build a user interface. So we're going to import Gradio as gr, and then here we're going to say app equals gr.interface, and then here we're going to hit enter, and we can pass a few arguments here. So we're going to say fm equals, or function equals to score text. This is the main function we're going to be calling in here, or the only function we have in this one so far. So that's the function we're going to call, and then we're going to add the input. So input equals, and then a square brackets, and then we're going to say here we want a text box. Here you can pass like multiple UI elements, but right now all we need is one text box for the text the user is going to type, so we can run the sentiment function or the score text function that's going to run the pipeline, and then we're going to say outputs equals, and here we're going to do the same. We want another text box to show the text results. Make sure to put in commas here at the end, and then hit enter here. So here we're going to add a title to our app, and here we're going to say, let me just copy what I have here prepare, so I don't have to type these here, and you can type something similar. The title is sentiment analysis app, and I have this 3 emojis with the happy, neutral, and angry face. Now down here we can put the description of the app equals quotes, and I'm gonna grab this description here. You can pass markdown to the description. So here you're gonna see that I have this long description here, but that's okay. And then I have these 3 hashtags in here, which will create an H3 as for the markdown. And then I have the description here for the application. Cool. So now the only thing we have to do now is to go down here and call app.launch. And that's about it. Let's just see what we have. We import our different libraries, the transformer libraries, and Gradio for the UI. We'll build our pipeline. We create a function that is going to receive the text, and then it's going to call the classifier or the pipeline, the sentiment analysis pipeline. We're going to get the results. We're going to extract the label and the score. We'll return a string that is going to display the text with the label and the score. That's going to be the return value, and then that is going to be displayed in the output. So we create the app with Gradio. We use the interface function here, and then we call the app down here so we can see the app. So here we're going to say created app, and then we're going to hit commit new file. Now here you can see that it is building the application. If we click on app here, we're going to see the logs, and it's going to try to build and deploy the application right away. Now that we have an app file, it's going to try to build it and deploy it for you. Now if we get an error, we're going to see the errors here, and all we have to do is just go back. We can close this down here and go back to files if we need to. And then we can click on the file that we need and then edit the file. And if we need to make any changes, we'll do another commit and commit in here. Right now, I don't need to change anything, so I'm going to click cancel right now. Go back to app, and here we got an error. So we're going to go here or click on logs, and we can see what's wrong with this. So down here, we have a error. So it says attribute error. So module Gradio has no attribute called interface. So as you can see, I did a little typo there. It says, do you mean interface? So it's missing the R right here. So cool, we got an error. So we're gonna close this down. Remember, we can go back to files here. You can select the app file. You can click on edit. And then here, we're gonna go and fix this typo here, interface, and that should be all we need. Here we're going to say updated app and hit commit. Now this is going to try to deploy the app one more time. We can click here to see the logs, and then we can see our application being built again and try to start it up all over again. And if we don't have any more errors, we should be able to access the app. If we get another error, we'll repeat the same steps again. Hopefully we don't have any right now. So let me pause here to see if it's going to deploy the application now. Okay, I got another error here. Really sorry about that. Here I did another typo, so I'm gonna have to go back here and click edit again for description. So let me fix that. Description. Hopefully I don't have anything else I got as far as this. So app.launch looks good. You're gonna say updated app again. Hit that one more time. Hopefully you didn't make as many typos as I did. And then we're gonna go see the logs again. And let's see, it's building again. It's putting cache, starting the application. So we're gonna pause here again to see if it gets deployed now. All right, and we have our application live. So it took from 35 to 37, it only took a few minutes. So I'm going to close this up now because it says you can see your application here. So we're gonna close this up and we're gonna go back to app in here. Let's see if everything looks good. So here we have the title, we have the description, we have the text input here, and then the text output. You have these buttons in here already created for you. So you have a button to clear and for submitting. So here, let me just grab a piece of text here really quick. So this is a let's say some text from a movie review, and we're going to, says this movie was absolutely fantastic. So we're going to hit submit and see, whoops, we got an error here again. So let's see, if you get an error like this, you're going to go to logs, and we're going to go and see what's wrong with this here. So down here, it says from line 8 inside of the app file, it says label results, and then here it says list indices must be integers or slices, not strings. And I think I know what this is. So we're gonna go back to app, to the files, and we're gonna go back to app. And here, I did a little mistake here. So this is another error. So we're gonna click edit in here. And we're gonna go into this line 7 right here. So the results is a nested dictionary. So we're gonna, it's a list, and then the first item in the list is the dictionary. So at the end of line 7, we're gonna do a square bracket 0. So we make sure we grab the first item inside of the list, which should be the dictionary, the dictionary object, or the object that we need in order to grab the actual results that we want, that has the label and the score. So that's why it says the indices must be numbers. So that's another error that you can get when you deploy your application and then you actually try to use it and test it, and then you have to go back and fix it. So by adding this here, now I can go back here and say add fix, and then hit changes, commit changes, and now your app is going to build one more time. You can click the logs to see it if you want, but it's going to be the same stuff. So again, I'm going to pause, and I'm going to continue as soon as it redeployed or restarts the application. All right, this time was much faster. So at 39 is just less than 1 minute probably that it took, because we didn't change a lot. So it was probably able to do it way faster. Now if we go back to app again, and now we go here, and let's grab the text. I think I have the text on my clipboard, so let me try to paste it again, hit submit, and then here we go. It says sentiment is positive, the score or probability is 0.999, and that is good. Here we have a clear button that can clear both text inputs or text boxes. Here you can share your link to the app as well if you want. Just click in here. So I'm going to clear this up. I'm going to test it one more time, and here just to keep testing to see if it gives me the some good sentiment analysis. This one says the movie was okay, as it has some good moments and some slow part, but overall was an average experience. So we're going to hit submit, and it says it's positive. It gave me a positive here with 0.85. So it says it was an average experience, so it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that confident that it was a positive experience. So here we're going to try one more. So I'm going to take this off and paste this one. It says I was really disappointed by this fail. The plot was predictable and the characters were not believable at all. So I'm going to hit submit here this time. It says it's negative. It has a 0.99 confident that this is negative. So there you go. We can clear this out. We can share here. We'll copy the link so you can share it and you can add it to your portfolio. So this application, I wanted to show you the UI inside of these spaces where you can actually build the application here and follow the same step in here if you want to create a new one. But in the next one, we're going to do everything locally, so that way we test everything, we run it. So you see the different errors that we did along the way. We have to fix it and come back and relaunch the application. We're going to test everything locally before we try to deploy. So now you know how to manage that online if you want to do it online. And then the next applications, we're going to be doing it locally. So make sure you have everything installed for the next video. So make sure you got all the requirements here. And then for the last thing we're going to do here is to remind you to make sure you like and also subscribe to the channel. and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.